that maple I collected last year. It's really grown nice and vigorous. This just has this amazing base. Can't get in the way there with the sun. You can see it there, but kind of curls down and comes back and around and up. And it's got roots in there. I had kind of thought maybe turn the whole thing up and then make this the apex, but let's see. But yeah, those roots in there, you know, I just didn't think it would live. I think this is kind of disconnected back in here, and this is just feeding all this. You know, and I loved this movement. It has some deadwood here. I am thinking I'm going to take this out because it takes away from being able to see back there. I think I'm done with it now. It's definitely brought the tree way down, and this is what I want the canopy to be here. So I'm hoping all these little shoots, these branches here, can all sort of develop. You know, I could take, like, ultimately I would want to maybe take this off and like take it off sort of there. But again, I'm just, you know, I'm not too sure about the vigor of these trees, and I don't want to take anything that I'm going to kind of regret later, or it might damage the tree too much. So I am pretty happy it's brought it right down. It is highlighting that a bunch more. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, look at that. I mean, here's a good shot of the deadwood. I can see if I can get in there for you. You can see it's kind of rotting away in here. You know, this is all just rotting. There might be a live vein in behind there, but you can see that's just rotting and pulling off. So I'm gonna have to do some work in there, try to preserve that. But overall, man, do I love this tree. Such a funky one. So this one just took off. This is that one with awesome base. You know, I haven't done any work with it at all in here this year, but you can see it shot like this is brand new, right from nothing. So I took it off. I will probably take it right off at some point, or take this back one off, but probably. Lots of fine branches. Again, for this one, I need, you know, next year in the spring, I'll get it in a really shallow pot. And instead of having, like, you know, I could have a tree here and see if that growth, there's enough of a live line. There's tons of roots there. So it could just be like one tree over here with just this sort of gnarly base. And that way the eye will sort of get drawn. I'm a little worried that if I take off all of this here, that everything will get fed from here and this will just become deadwood. Maybe not so bad. I would like to eventually sort of see the live line versus the deadwood in there, so carve all that out. So, you know, my other thought is, and we'll have to decide on this, is just sort of canopy right there. So taking all of that down and just have this canopy that sort of sits along without any of these being too defined. So maybe multiple branches. But yeah, I mean, it's branching out really nice in here. So yeah, I'm actually just quite happy. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like. Oh, here's this maple. This is that one. I mean, I have a video of it before. Really base, low, a really thick, you know, it curved out of a hillside and came up, and it had been chopped. And so in the spring I had taken off two of these big things, and you know, and I'm you know, my thought was probably if this was a long-term development tree, I would be looking at, you know, cutting it here and making this the new apex, you know, to start getting taper on the trunk, because you really don't have much taper. There's a teeny bit here because it really swells at this base, but not a lot. But this year it's just taken off. you know, and I had thought, oh, I'll keep this branch, and I may wire this up because branches, it's just strange to wire something up, but you know, when you look at a big maple tree, they're not sticking out sideways, they're coming up and then over and down. So I might keep growing that out just to thicken that up. But I'm really liking the growth, and you can see it's just vigorous. It's popping out just new stuff, so it needs to be cut back quite severely, I think, actually. So you can see I've really taken it down. There's that trunk to give a sense of size. It comes up, and then, you know, I've hacked it down here, so I'm hoping that this will push a lot of new growth. So I took off some of them. I just took off everything, and we'll see if that can produce back buds or if that will just kill off the branch. But some of these upper ones, they were just covering everything, and so I wanted to, like these little shoots in here, I really wanted to give these guys a chance, because I really want this just to sort of create a broom style, and I need to pull it back and down. So there's a lot of vigor in this tree, so I'm hoping this will sort of stimulate it to continue to push out new little buds, and we'll just see if that happens this year or not. You know, like all of these little, so you can see that, all these little ones in here, even this branch here. So then this was just, like I said, it was just canopied up. So this is that maple. You know, so now what are we? Second week of September. So all the leaves have pushed out. I did that one sort of trim. I did an initial trim at the start of the year, then I did a second trim to see if I could get more ramification and more branches, and it's turned out really wonderful. You know, this is strange. And a big root that comes along here, so we'll see. And I can't remember what the roots were like in here. I mean, hopefully after, so I collected this not this spring but the previous spring, and so should have tons of roots in here, but I can't remember. The fact that it's in such a thick, deep pot makes me think that there's some big root coming down, but we'll see. So again, like, just lots of growth. You know, what I noticed is that for branching, it was mostly where I had taken it kind of early in the year and taken a branch off that I got 2 branches. Now you can see there's all kinds of little buds shooting up in there. I did try to take off a couple leaves, you know, and that would have been sections like that. And so what I didn't get is actual branches coming out. I got buds for next year. That's probably just timing. But, you know, quite a lot of branching in here. It's really great. Frog, he's living under my deck. That's awesome. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is, you know, bring the whole tree down, right? Just cut it off there. And, you know, it should be pretty nice. Like, you know, previously I talked about maybe when I first collected that I should, you know, cut it here and start developing taper, and I didn't. So that's, you know, just how it is. So it'll be what it is at this point. But yeah, I'm actually really quite happy with it. You know, I think like 2 years, it'll have a lot of branching, and, you know, it'll just be a decent maple. So here's another one. This one, I mean, I love the movement on this. It's just nice movement. So what was happening before was there was a big branch here that I took off, and this was the smaller branch. So that was my pretty much one cut, and this would have been all this year's growth. And so that would have had this is from last year, and this is this year, this is this year. But, you know, there's lots and lots of little buds coming around off everywhere. So that'll be interesting for next year. But yeah, I mean, this is just kind of a nice movement trunk. Let me turn it up a little bit, hard to say. Again, this I will be bringing down to here. And last maple to review. Actually, no, I got one more after this. So this is the one I took right here. You can see the cut mark. So that would have been shooting probably way up. And again, I just let these kind of grow. You know, I do want them to thicken out a bit, but I am kind of starting to wanting to get more branches. So, you know, this middle section, very undesirable. This is actually quite nice. This is straight, but there's some nice movement. So, you know, maybe if I'm bold next year, I'll just cut it right here and let this be the new apex and branches. They're extremely vigorous, so it's quite likely I'll do that.